Colin Cowherd's herd hierarchy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I used to do these videos every single week where I would compare my top 10 with Colin's top 10. But now I do a top 32. I power rank the entire NFL over on Twitter and Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, what the hell are you even doing with your life? You're following Abigail Ratchford, but you're not following me. What's going on here, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, real quick, before we get into this, let's look at mine. So this is entering week 8. These are my top 32. All right, so my top 10, KC, Green Bay, the Rams, Detroit, Tampa, Indy, Philadelphia, Seattle, Denver, and Buffalo. So the way I do my rankings is I put out a ranking before the season, and then I go from there. So those are my priors, and then I move teams up or down depending on a lot of different circumstances. So a win doesn't always bump you up. Like Seattle, I didn't move them at all for their win against Houston because I was unimpressed with the offense, and Houston's offense was so bad that's why Seattle won. But I just didn't think they had a great game, so I didn't bump them up. It's that simple. Other teams can get downgraded on a win, like Denver. Denver won, but I downgraded them 3 spots because they won a game they probably shouldn't have won against the Giants and were outplayed for a majority of the game. Okay, so, and then there's injuries, right? Baltimore is 27, but Lamar Jackson's back. So they're more than likely going to shoot up to like 13 or 14. Washington, right? If they're losing, but if Jaden Daniels is hurt, then how do I kind of, so there's a lot going on there. So this is where we are now entering week 8. The one spot that I'm like, I'm kind of off on this one is Green Bay. I don't think Green Bay is the second best team in the NFL, but because of how other teams have played, because of where Green Bay was, I couldn't downgrade them and upgrade other teams over them. But I don't think Green Bay is the second best team in the NFL. That's the one part of this where I'm like, I got to find somewhere I could put them, but it'll probably be another week. But the rest of it I think is fine. I think KC 1 feel great about. The rest, good to go. So let's go ahead and look at Collins, see where we match up, where we disagree.
Number 10.
I put him in this morning. I bounced the Seahawks out because after those 4 giveaways, I just can't trust Seattle. Seattle's 11. I put New England in at 10. They don't beat themselves.
I think it's a little high. I think New England's a little high. I think defensively, they're not that good. I saw something recently. I think it's every single team in the AFC East is 25th or worse in DVOA on defense. The Patriots are all right, especially when Drake May is playing at such a high level. Overall, though, I think they're a fringe top 10 team. I think I have them at 12 this week, right? I have them at 12. Moved up from 16, so moved up pretty dramatically, but that's some bad performances from some other teams. They're not an elite team, but right now I think 10 is a little high. They're definitely not better than Seattle, but they're right there.
4 straight wins, top 10 offense, top 5 scoring defense. Mike Vrabel, this was our prediction, the team that would double their win total. We said it before the season. We had them as a playoff team. Their remaining schedule is the easiest in the league. 6 straight games with 100-plus passer rating. I like Drake May. I didn't think he would be this good, this quick. They feel like a one-and-done playoff team.
Yeah, Drake May came into the NFL kind of raw. He was definitely a developmental kind of guy, high potential, high ceiling kind of guy, but a lot of variables. And man, he has just taken off like a rocket. Like he has taken that step that you don't see too often. I mean, he just right now he's playing at a crazy, crazy level.
That's winning a lot on energy and focus and enthusiasm and youth. But I put him at 10 and bounce Seattle out.
Number 9.
The Niners. I think Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, I mean, I have them. I have them at 10. I think 11, and they're only 11 because of the injuries. And I think I have Kyle Shanahan. I have tickets on Kyle Shanahan to win Coach of the Year. I've got Niners tickets to win the NFC, win the Super Bowl, whatever. But a big issue with this team is Fred Warner, and the fact that he's out, I think, is bigger than Brock Purdy being out. We'll see if they make a deal. I could see them going and getting DeMario Davis. I could see something like that happening. But losing him losing your green dot is such a big deal. So their offense will be fine, whether it's Mac Jones, whether it's Brock Purdy, it's Kyle Shanahan, it's Christian McCaffrey. They're going to be okay. But I don't know if they can survive the defensive injuries They got to make a move.
It's in the running for coach of the year. No Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, but Robert Saleh has been a monster as a defensive coordinator. They have the number 7 scoring defense. They are very Christian McCaffrey dependent. 30 touches or 31 touches. Don't love that, but they're kind of trapped. 6 of their next 7 games against very weak opponents. They should be favored in most of them. But I think Mac Jones and Brock Purdy feels a little bit like a wash to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Brock Purdy is better. I mean, I'm not splitting the atom here, but I think you're fine with Mac Jones. I don't think you're fine with some of the injuries defensively.
Expensive, one's kind of free, but I think you got to put them in the list. Nobody's been as resourceful as Kyle Shanahan and the Niners. I put them at 9.
Yeah.
Number 8.
Green Bay, they keep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with them being around here. Again, they're too high on my list, and I will move them down quickly. The question with Green Bay is Jordan Love. Jordan Love, I think, was anointed way too early as like this next generational whatever franchise guy. He got hot at the end of the year and beat Dallas in the playoffs and all that stuff. All of a sudden, he's given the keys to the car. It's big contract, ready to go. But I don't know if he's there. Green Bay they're a defensive team who wants to run the football. If Jordan Love's got to throw them into a game or win them games, I don't know if he can. Or I don't know if he can consistently. So,
leaving me wanting more.
Yeah.
But they are undefeated when scoring more than 10 points this season. I just feel like I want more, but they've been a little banged up at wide receiver. Josh Jacobs, 3 straight games with multiple touchdowns. Jordan Love this year. And nobody likes Jordan Love. And he's completing 69% of his throws and 108 passer rating. And you can't find anybody that likes him. Their run defense is excellent. Micah is the perfect closer for a team.
Yeah, Micah Parsons has been as advertised. He is actively winning them games.
Team that often leads in the 4th. I have Green Bay 8. I think they will get better. They're still really young.
Number 7.
Here's the deal with Green Bay. Green Bay also, they came out of the gates hot, and all of a sudden they were the favorites to win the Super Bowl, which was ridiculous after one game, right? So I think they're disappointing those expectations. The expectations that they're the runaway Super Bowl favorites. That's where I think the expectations got a little crazy. They're a good team. They're definitely a top 10 team. They're definitely a team that can compete, but they're not this juggernaut that they were a few weeks ago.
I still like the Bucs a lot. I mean, they were playing.
Yeah, same. The Bucs I had as the number 1 team or the number 2 team in the NFL last week, somewhere in there. They're so banged up, so many injuries. Got smoked in Detroit. Baker, high variance team. If Baker's playing at an MVP level, if he's playing at a high level, the Bucs are hard to beat. When they're fully healthy, definitely a team that's going to make noise. I would not want to see this team fully healthy in the playoffs, I'll tell you that. I think the Bucs are good, and I still have them. I think I have them 5. So I have no problem. They definitely are a top 10 team, and you're just getting through the injuries. You're just getting through the situation now where Baker's throwing to 5th string, 6th string, 7th string guys. You got your starting running backs are hurt. Your trenches are banged up. Defensively, you're banged up. But this is a dangerous team moving forward.
Living dangerously, coming from behind, and that was a buzzsaw they ran into last night. 4 of their 5 wins, 1-score games. But their defense, multiple games with takeaways. I just think they got playmakers.
Now, that's the question, too, is that at the beginning of the season, I think they rattled off 4 straight wins, winning at the buzzer, like something that had never happened before. So they do have a little bit of that in them, which is you never want, like, that's never a good indicator of long-term success, is winning like all of the close games. I mean, the Giants from a few years ago, the Vikings from a few years ago, they were insane in 1-score games, and then all of a sudden that kind of stuff flips. So that is definitely an indicator coming back to the means a little bit for Tampa Bay. But
and again, like the Niners, they've been incredibly resourceful. I've always thought Todd Bowles is underrated because he doesn't really have a profile. Probably the best blitzing coach in the NFL. Baker, Igbuka, I think they're going to be fine when they get cleaned up and healthier. But I wouldn't drop him too far. I have Tampa at 7.
Yeah.
Number 6.
I love Denver's roster. I don't think their defense has been.
Denver, I don't know about Denver. I think defense, when you're elite defensively, you can only drop so far. But I don't think the whole thing with Denver was that Bo Nix was for real. And Bo Nix was a franchise quarterback. And Bo Nix was going to take a step. And if he took a step and this offense started playing at a high level, then all of a sudden Denver's a legitimate threat. Now, I know I'm saying this off of the heels of a crazy fourth quarter comeback and all that, but Denver reminds me a lot of like the Texans after CJ Stroud's rookie year, where it was just like, you know what? No doubt about it. This team was good. Now they're going to be great. I don't know if Denver's ready to be great yet. They're good, but I don't know if they're ready to be like a legitimate threat to win the AFC, win the Super Bowl, things like that. They are a top 10 team, but Bo Nix has to be better. The offense has to be better. The defense can't just carry every single game.
As good as I thought, but they lead the NFL in sack differential. They have the number 1 third down defense and the number 1 red zone defense, and yet I feel like they should be better.
Yeah.
Bo Nix, when trailing this season, a very Mahomes-like stat, 11 touchdowns, no picks, and a 102 passer rating, and obviously a great head coach. Denver at 6.
Number 5.
Detroit.
Bo Nix has way too many moments and games and halves and quarters where it's like, man, what the hell is going on? And he looks like the Monstars took his powers or something. And then all of a sudden he has like he did in the fourth quarter against New York. He's got to find a balance. He's got to find somewhere in between where he's a little bit more consistent, a little more the same every single game, every single quarter, and a little bit less of these like nightmare performances. Detroit, really good team. It's hard to be. Detroit has not missed a beat from losing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. This is a team. The hesitancy I have with Detroit is their offensive line. How different it is from last year. I don't think there was enough of an emphasis on Aiden Hutchinson returning this year and not being there last year. If he's there last year, could have been a Super Bowl team. The question was the offensive line and the coordinators. The coordinators is fixed. It doesn't matter, right? Like it doesn't matter that Glenn's gone. Doesn't matter Johnson's gone. So now it's just, can this offensive line be good? Can they be good the entire year? They've got the playmakers. Goff is sweet. The defensive line with Hutchinson is a huge bump. And then a beleaguered and injured secondary completely embarrassed the Buccaneers on Monday night. So Detroit is for sure a team that could win the NFC. It absolutely is a team that I would be buying stock in.
Run game jumps off the TV set. They're 5-1 over their last 6 games, and they got rocked by the best team easily in the league, Kansas City. Their defense takes the ball away, gets to the quarterback. What I like about Detroit is they get leads and then they get sacks, and that's the way to win in the postseason. They're much better, obviously, at home, but I have Detroit thumped Tampa last night at 5.
Number 4.
Colts. I've been into the Colts for a month.
My algorithm has finally got the Colts up into the top 10. What is for real about this team is the offensive line. What is for real about this team is Jonathan Taylor, although when you have an offensive line this good, it's easy to be a good running back. What I do not know if it's real is the defense. I'm not sure if this defense can be this good for this long. And then, of course, the biggest question is Daniel Jones for real? He's for real right now, but is he going to be for real for this entire season? Now, I was super high on Indy coming into the season. I didn't think they'd be a Super Bowl threat or an AFC champion. Steichen and Daniel Jones is a match made in heaven. Steichen is just doing what Daboll did the year that Jones and the Giants went to the playoffs. The big difference, though, is how well he's throwing the ball. Daniel Jones in New York was much more of a runner. Daboll kind of had him on the move. Now, all of a sudden, he's incredibly accurate. He's incredibly poised. He's not seeing ghosts. The game is not too fast for him. He seems to have slowed everything down where he's now in control. And he's just making all the plays. I mean, he is in that offense right now is inevitable. I mean, they feel like they cannot be stopped. They feel like if you give up 3-4 yards a play to them, you're the happiest guy in the world. They get a play for 4 yards off, you're like, man, our defense is playing lights out. But they are for sure the most surprising team this season. Offensive line is going to be good the entire season. Running game is going to be good the entire season. Will the defense be this good? And will Daniel Jones be a legitimate MVP?
They should have beaten the Rams. Best outright record in the league at 6-1. Their only loss to the Rams, and they outplayed them. Great offensive line, playmakers at running back, tight end, wide receiver, excellent head coach, most efficient offense in the NFL, tied for the most touchdowns. I mean, Daniel Jones.
Real quick, you see people all the time where it's like, the only way to win is to draft your franchise quarterback in the top 5, top 10. Only way to win. Only way to do whatever. And you see this team whiff on Anthony Richardson. Big time whiff. No questions asked. They go get Daniel Jones. Complete journeyman, whatever. But their infrastructure and their bones and the foundation of this team is so good, and you get that perfect match with Steichen and Daniel Jones. There's a lot of ways to win, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not always drafting a quarterback 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th overall. And even if you whiff Trey Lance, Anthony Richardson, if your team is good enough and the foundation and all that stuff is good enough, you can survive it. Bottom line. And you can make some magic. So Indy is a great example of that. It's a great reminder of that. It's a great reminder that it's not always just tank for the 2nd overall pick, draft a quarterback, boom, you're good all of a sudden.
I mean, it's like Dak. We can say, well, he's not elite. Well, I'm watching, and it looks elite to me. They've scored on 63% of their drives. And I think they're absolutely for real. I've always said my final 4 teams are teams I think that can get to a Super Bowl, and I have the Colts at 4.
Number 3.
Rams. It's not really just Stafford and
Yeah, Rams are really good. Really, really good team. Legit Super Bowl contender. I know they were a sexy bet before the season. Matt Stafford, the question mark was Matt Stafford's back. The question was, well, what happens if his back's bad? I mean, he's an older quarterback coming into the year injured, didn't really play at all leading up to the season, hasn't missed a beat. They're doing it. Puka Nacua was on a record-breaking pace until we bet on him to win MVP, and now he hadn't played since, but it is what it is. Young defense, gets after the quarterback well. Good running attack, super balanced offense. Sean McVay, what's not to like? LA is a player in the NFC. LA will be in the conversation to win the NFC at the end of the year. They were a play away or a drive away from beating Philadelphia last year. So this team, and if Matt Stafford's playing at an MVP level, which he is right now, really difficult team to beat.
That defense is suffocating. Now, it may not be suffocating if they faced a Mahomes or, again, it may not be suffocating against the great quarterbacks, but man, Trevor Lawrence, good luck. They lead the NFL in big plays. No Puka, no problem. Number 2 scoring defense, number 2 in sacks. And remember, their defense is young. These guys, a lot of them haven't even hit their prime.
Well, that's what happened with this team, right? The window looked like it was closed, and then all of a sudden Jared Verse and this defense cranks it up. And then before that, they had Puka and Kyron, so their offense kind of cranked it up. Then the defense got there, and now all of a sudden they're a super young, talented team with an anchor of Matt Stafford and Sean McVay.
Was it 3?
Number 2.
I don't even know if I liked Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is a weird team. Philadelphia is super talented, really good roster, really good infrastructure, all of that, but they're a weird team because you watch them and they'll lay an egg. But then they'll dominate good teams. They'll flip a switch and play completely differently, and Jalen Hurts will throw for 350 yards, and you're like, what's going on here? Philadelphia is a team you don't count out. Philadelphia reminds me of the Warriors in the NBA the last couple of years where it's like, yeah, they're weird. Yeah, can they do it? I don't know, but you don't want to see them in the playoffs. You don't want to play them on a winner-take-all game because they're just winners, and they just have a system that works. The Eagles are the Thunder right now. The Thunder are the NBA's version of the Eagles, where the Eagles have the tush push. They have this weird stuff that works that only they seem to be able to do. The Thunder, they've got this weird free throw thing going on where, SGA gets 20 free throws a game. You can't really explain it, but they win. And is it boring to watch? Is it fun to watch? Not necessarily all the time. Just like the Eagles. Are they a fun team to watch? Not all the time. Sometimes it's miserable to watch, but they'll probably be there at the end of the season. And you don't count out that team, that roster, that coaching staff. And, they got, like I said, they have warts, but then all of a sudden they throw for 350 yards. All of a sudden they can do whatever they want running the ball. All of a sudden they, you can't get the ball away from them. They'll go on a 15-minute drive, but yeah, super talented team. Absolutely a team that is miserable to watch, but still good.
Honestly, they can't run the ball anymore. They don't get to the quarterback, but they have, let's be honest. Jalen Hurts wins a lot. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, when they can't run, can take the top off. They're a hard team to defend, and they're a hard team to figure out. They don't get to the quarterback. They've been outgained in every game. There's a French term for beautiful yet ugly. I think whatever that term is, that's the Eagles. But I love their roster, and I keep just saying they'll figure it out, but I have them at 2.
The Eagles, in any team, when you're like, I don't think they're that good, they're not playing that good, but then they're winning and they're beating some of the best teams in the NFL, you do kind of got to put your hands up.
Number 1.
And I think they'd get smoked if they played Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City's insane right now. Kansas City right now is nutty. They are a really, really, really good team. And this is one of the best versions of the Chiefs we've seen in a long time, honestly. And that's kind of crazy because they're in the Super Bowl every year. But right now, this is one of those teams. A couple of years ago, the year the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, the last time, I said there's no way this team can win the Super Bowl with these wide receivers. And Mahomes was Mahomes. That's not the case right now. Right now, they've got what they need on offense. They got what they need on defense. And oh, by the way, they have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. This feels like one of those teams where it's hard to imagine a team beating KC in the playoffs right now. And more than likely, they're your 1 seed in the AFC. More than likely, they've got home field advantage. And the teams that you expected to beat them, the Bills, the Ravens, are nowhere near them. The Bills have one of the worst defenses in the NFL. The Bills have nothing offensively besides Josh Allen. If Josh Allen is not playing at a Superman level, the Bills aren't even that good, much less a team that can beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. The Baltimore Ravens, will they even be in the playoffs? So look at this list right now. Who the hell is going to usurp the Chiefs? The Colts? The Broncos?
I said it a month ago. This is as good as Kansas City's been. Hollywood Brown, Juju, Worthy, Rice, Travis Kelce. Keep your eye on Brashard Smith. The offensive line hasn't been totally healthy. I think Mahomes is playing at an absurd level.
Yeah.
I think this is as good. I'm serious here. I think this team, I do wonder at the trade deadline if they would go find like a situational pass rusher maybe.
So I'll tell you right now, the big guy that's going to be moved or look to move or whatever at the trade deadline is Max Crosby. There's a couple of teams that if Max Crosby goes to, all of a sudden that team is for real. I know he was linked to Dallas this week. Maybe. I could see Jerry doing something like that. Dallas is a really, 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 really good offense with one of the worst defenses in the NFL. So, yeah, that would be interesting, especially after trading Micah, but whatever. But the Chiefs are one of those teams too. And I don't know if Vegas would do it in the division and all that, but if they got a player like Max Crosby, if they did go get another asset, all of a sudden you could be looking at the best Chiefs team in the Mahomes era. And for the rest of the NFL, it's a scary proposition.
And they're not a great run team. They are so deep.
Yeah.
Now at wide receiver, here you go, my top 10. Seattle 11. I had them in last night when I texted Kyle on our staff, and this morning I'm like, no, I'm disgusted. That was awful. Take them out.
Yeah, I think the big difference is I think I have Buffalo in and Seattle in are the two teams in my top 10. Yeah, Buffalo's 10, Seattle's 8, and he's got Frisco and New England, and I have New England and Frisco at 11 and 12. So We're kind of aligned here on the teams. We're certainly aligned on the top 12. The top 12 in some order. We got kind of in the same ballpark here. And as the season goes on, obviously you start to figure out like who are the actual threats, who are the actual contenders in for the Super Bowl. I think you got a couple that are no-brainers. Kansas City, no-brainer. Philadelphia, the Rams, Detroit. And then you got some surprises like the Colts, the Bucks, even the 49ers with Mac Jones, the Seahawks, I guess. Like those teams are okay. Oh, I could see it. I could see San Francisco if they get healthy. I could see if Tampa gets healthy. I could see if Frisco makes a move and replaces Fred Warner. I could see, okay, if this team does this, maybe they can be there. But right now we could be headed towards, if I had to bet right now, I would say you're looking at KC versus LA or Detroit in the Super Bowl. That would be my my prediction. All right, ladies and gentlemen, get on down in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.